today. I welcome you all. This is a sad day, seriously. He would rather pass those tax bills for the wealthiest in the country, for the billionaires, putting 160 billion excess into their pockets. But for the average American, McConnell refuses to consider the standalone bill on $2,000 stimulus checks. That's it, over. Trump wanted it with some poison pills attached. Democrats pushed it through, House voted, gets to the Senate, and the usual spoiler, Mitch hates America, shuts it down. It's just sad, really, really sad. So right now, I'm already out of my quarantine snacks. I need more. I need a little bit more energy to get through this last live feed here. And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on Wednesday said he would not consider a standalone bill on additional economic relief for millions of Americans. The wealthiest senator, check his net worth out, $22.5 million, right? Has Russian oligarchs set up steel companies in Kentucky, takes money from the corporations. But when it comes to giving you some cash, when it comes to taking care of your family, he would rather give tax deductions and tax benefits to the ultra wealthy. Even Warren Buffett said, thanks to Trump and Mitch McConnell's bill, I made $29 billion overnight. That's Warren Buffett, right? So he has really taken care of the ultra wealthy, but it's like this, two middle fingers to the Americans. The Republican leader said a bill on $2,000 direct payments passed by the House on Monday has no realistic path to quickly pass the Senate, right? And here they cry, oh, we're going to run up the deficit. He's already created record deficits. The highest deficits we've ever seen in American history under Mitch McConnell. And yet he says, well, it's sad. McConnell proposed a bill on Tuesday that tied the stimulus checks to two other priorities pushed by President Donald Trump, which are unrelated to the pandemic. Democrats have already criticized McConnell so-called poison pills, making distribution of $2,000 checks to Americans increasingly unlikely. Rob R. is in the house. How are you, brother? I hope you and your family are doing well. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. Maybe this is my last live feed before 2021. Let's all just get to 2021. Right, let's get there. Let's just erase 2020 from the history books. Let's pretend it never happened. And let's go straight through to, my wife's not happy about that because we got married in 2020. So,
yeah.
So she's, sorry. Let's pretend the wedding happened, but let's pretend 2020. Hey, Danu Hall's in the house. Good to see you. So Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on Wednesday signaled he would not bring a standalone bill on $2,000 stimulus checks to a vote, making additional economic relief to millions of Americans increasingly unlikely. Robert Garrison in the House, Abstract Echo in the House, and Robert says more bullcrap from the Republican senators. Man, what's up with them, dude? I'm going to take names. So the sad thing is, we'll find out sort of who wanted the bill, right? Obviously, those two Georgian Republicans wanted the bill so that they can get votes, and I think Marco Rubio wanted the $2,000, but slim pickings. I want to get the names. Give me the names of those senators that voted against American citizens. I will do a video for you. Dennis Torres is in the house, my boxing buddy down there in the LBC. I was down there yesterday. Mohammed Khalil, we're almost at the finishing line. One more day to go. December the 30th. Went in for a checkup this morning with the surgeon. I'm going to keep on taking care of my broken leg. The Republican leader said that the larger direct payments intended to curb the devastating effects of the coronavirus pandemic and backed by President Donald Trump and congressional Democrats has no realistic path to quickly pass the Senate. Sad. Here's the deal. The Senate is not going to split apart 3 issues that President Trump linked together just because Democrats are afraid to address 2 of them, McConnell said on the Senate floor. Diversion, 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 right? The Senate's not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of Democrats' richest friends who don't need the help. I need to remind you, Mitch McConnell, you passed the greatest tax relief for billionaires. So that verbiage right there, you just shot yourself in the face. His comments come after a turbulent week in Washington where Democrats and Republicans passed a long-awaited roughly $900 billion stimulus package to help boost the economy, attached to a $1.4 trillion spending bill to keep the government running through the next fiscal year. Now, I'm sure you will agree with me that the biggest buzzword, the biggest issue, the biggest problem of 2020 and going into 2021 is the pandemic, COVID-19. Do you know how much money these guys allocated out of that $900 billion for the vaccines and for the vaccine distribution? I'll tell you. $20 billion for the vaccines, $9 billion for the distribution. $29 billion of $900 billion COVID relief is actually only going towards the vaccines. How serious are you, Democrats and Republicans, about getting this under control? How serious are you, the Trump administration, about getting this pandemic under the control? If you allocate $29 billion to this horrific pandemic, that is peanuts compared to the $900 billion or the $1.4 trillion that you signed. How serious are these guys to take care of American families and American citizens, I ask you? Then, big promises by the Trump administration, the CDC, by Pfizer, Moderna. Hey, we will have 30 million Americans vaccinated by 2020. Right in the beginning said we will get 300 million people vaccinated with Operation Warp Speed. I call it Operation Snail Speed, right? And they should be ashamed of themselves because instead of that 20 million that they promised to have vaccinated, they have 2.6 million vaccinated as of today. So where are those other 17.4 million, I ask you, Mitch? I ask you, Donald Trump? I ask the CDC? Where are those other 17.6 million people that you had promised to vaccinate? At that rate, ladies and gentlemen, they say we could go through to 2023 or 2024 if they keep on vaccinating at that rate. So step it up, Pfizer, CEO of Pfizer. Step it up, CEO of Moderna. Step it up, Trump administration. Step it up, have a federal plan in place so that you can distribute. Make sure, Biden, that you pass more money toward, another stimulus that really boosts the vaccine distribution and the vaccine so we have money so we can get these people healthy again, right? Otherwise, you have a lot of death on your hands. You're not doing enough about it. You're not putting enough money into it, right? And that is not your number one priority. And the Americans not granting them $2,000 checks, that's certainly not your priority, Mitch McConnell. I know where your priorities are, Mitch McConnell. It's in your bank account. It's right there, $22.5 million. That's what you are worth. Check it up. I'm not making those numbers up. That's not BS. Go Google his net worth. Mitch McConnell's net worth, $22.5 million. So double middle finger, right? Double middle finger to the American folk. Sad. His comments come after a turbulent week in Washington where Democrats and Republicans passed a long-awaited roughly $900 billion stimulus package to help the economy attached to a $1.4 trillion spending bill. Following its passage, Trump unexpectedly demanded Congress raise the already negotiated $600, that's already in the bag, direct payments to $2,000, a stance quickly embraced by Democrats but rejected by Republicans. Democrats and Republicans, you had 6 months. You had 6 months to pass $600. And then Donald wakes up and says, well, let's make it $2,000. Why didn't we have that $2,000 discussion 6 months ago, right? Why did it take them 6 months, right? Doesn't that 6 months speak volumes? How important you, I, Mohammed, Wicked Hustle guy, John Robles. How important are these Americans to you? Now, the Grim Reaper has struck big time, right? He has clearly shown hashtag Mitch hates America where his priorities are. Trump ultimately signed the bill as is on Sunday night, yet repeated his calls for higher checks. Well, thank you, President, for at least sticking out for those American peoples and trying for the $2,000. But your buddies there in the Senate and your buddy there, Mitch McConnell, is not on your side anymore, right? He's not on your side. He's like, bye, Felicia, right? I'm moving on into 2021. I'll maybe work out something with Biden. This is disgusting, my friends, right? The Democratic-controlled House then passed a bill on Monday that would increase the size of direct payments from $600 to $2,000. I was holding up my hopes for you guys, for all Americans, thinking, well, maybe we have a shot at it. But hang on, with Mitch McConnell in the mix, how is this going to even move forward? Quote me 2 or 3 days ago. That's exactly what I said. The aid is aimed at Americans earning up to $75,000. Senate Democrats, led by Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, urged McConnell on Tuesday to bring the House bill known as the Cash Act for a vote on the Senate floor. The GOP leader objected, and later in the evening, he introduced a new bill that tied the supplemental relief to 2 other Trump priorities. They call the poison pills, right, which are unrelated to the public health crisis. Knowing, hey, if I take that $2,000 and attach these other poison pills to it, Democrats won't pass it. The issue includes investigating voter fraud in the 2020 elections. Come on, let's move on. That's already been decided on. And then removing legal protections for social media companies, because he doesn't like the fact that the social media companies control him. Items that have come to the top of Trump's agenda during his final days in office. There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud or voting irregularities in the 2020 race, won by President-elect Joe Biden. I also have to say it went to the Supreme Court twice. The Supreme Court shut down their arguments. Trump has waged and lost dozens of legal battles in an attempt to overturn the election results in his favor. It hasn't worked so far, right? It hasn't worked so far. Wicked one is in the House. Take $2 million from every millionaire above 10 million and 10 million from every billionaire. Megacorps, $1 billion contribute. Throw it in a pot and every citizen would get $5,000 each. Love your formula. You should be running the country, my friend. The other part of McConnell's bill involves a repeal of Section 230 of the 1996 Communications Decency Act, which shields tech companies and allows them to control content regulation on their platforms. He doesn't like that. He wants to control the show. Trump has long accused Facebook and Twitter of having anti-conservative biases, and he's ratcheted up attacks on the social media platforms since they have begun labeling his misleading or false posts on the election with warnings to prevent misinformation. And we know that pisses the Donald off. So what does he do? Hey, Mitch, add this to your bill. Shoot that down and fit it in there along with the $2,000. They call them poison pills in politics. Those type of bills don't go anywhere. Democrats slammed McConnell for bundling. There we go. Democrats slammed McConnell for bundling the $2,000 checks with extra Trump proposals, so-called, there we go, poison pills, likely killing efforts for more aid to Americans. On Wednesday, McConnell argued his case against the larger checks, reiterating the GOP's traditional talking point of keeping the national debt levels low, a position criticized by Democrats. Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh, Mitch, when you say keeping the national debt levels low. Under you, Mitch, you have set record levels. You have given the biggest tax handouts to your billionaire buddies. Don't come with these BS double standards. And how this guy got reelected in Kentucky, I have no freaking idea how Moscow Mitch or Mitch the bitch got into Kentucky. I don't know. Don't the people see the writing on the wall? Don't they see that he just doesn't care for Kentucky or for the United States? We can do better than that, man. Now, to shoot him down, Georgia can only decide his fate on January the 5th. Now, on Wednesday, McConnell urged his case against the larger checks, reiterating the GOP's traditional talking point of keeping the national debt levels low. Don't make me laugh. A position criticized by Democrats. These Republicans in the Senate seem to have an endless tolerance for other people's sadness. Nancy said in a news conference early on Wednesday, in blocking the $2,000 checks, they are in denial of the hardship that the American people are experiencing now. The Democratic leader did not say whether she would bring up a new bill for 2,000 checks in the next Congress, scheduled to begin on Sunday. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said on Tuesday that the $600 direct payments are already on their way to Americans. And that being said, I ask everyone, have you already received your $600? Have you at least received something, right? Huge shout out to Cova, my sponsor. You get 1 month free with my link below, the gig protection plan, 24/7 health service, pay time off, automatic mileage tracking, all the benefits and perks you need in one membership starting at $7 a month. And what I love about it, the legal protection plan with legal rideshare in case a gig worker gets deactivated or terminated, their legal arm sends off the legal letters and gets you back behind the wheel. Now, also, legal rideshare, quick shout out before I move back to the article. If you get into an injury, an accident, if you have lost wages, if you have been injured, if your car has been damaged, hit these guys up. They will handle the entire insurance claim process for you. So, man, this is sad, my friends. This is sad. This is absolutely sad. Sad news. And I think what has happened here, it literally has become a little battle between versus Trump, right? Like a little boxing fight between little flexing, Trump calling out McConnell shooting this down. Looks like a little 15-rounder going on there yet. Me, thank you very much for your lovely message earlier on. There's Bernie ranting and raging there. He's not happy about it. Wishing you a great new year as well, me. And nothing yet. So you haven't received any. Robert Garrison, haven't got turd. Nothing yet. Haven't received anything either. It's Moose says this $2,000 stimulus has been an exercise of futility with the voter investigation and Section 230 requirements. It's important to remember that McConnell is essentially ignoring Trump's request, right? At the moment. Remember, he never made Trump any promises about what he was or was not going to do on the Senate floor. Trump's statement Sunday night was full of things he thought he'd won. McConnell made no such mention on fulfilling those promises in his own statement, thanking Trump. In a lot of ways, this moment isn't that dissimilar to how McConnell has managed Trump for 4 years, right? Izza Movies in the house. Good to see you. Exactly. The caption picture for Mitch got me weak. There's no real fight between Mitch and Trump. It's all distraction, nothing more. So in a lot of ways, this moment isn't that dissimilar to how McConnell has managed Trump for years, letting the president rant and vent only to quietly conduct things the way he thinks, McConnell thinks is best for his members in his own chamber. Remember how when the tax bill was drafted, McConnell ignored Trump's later request to bring up healthcare for the zillionth time. Trump tweeted on Tuesday that unless senators had a death wish, they better vote fast on $2,000 checks. That is a direct threat to those senators. Unless those senators have a death wish, they better vote fast on $2,000. This is a time to remember that McConnell literally wrote a memoir that was titled The Long Game. McConnell isn't focused on the next 5 days or even the final week of Trump's presidency. He's thinking about his majority and his legacy far beyond that. Right now, leadership aides tell me that the thinking is that he may be enough, that it may be enough for Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler in Georgia to campaign on the fact that they support $2,000 checks, right? They support $2,000 checks because they want the Georgia's vote. If they were not up for vote, they would be also voting against this, along with the other Republican senators. Let's not fool ourselves, folks. They don't necessarily need to have demonstrated they voted on it. Caving to a president who had a negotiator in the room who agreed to $600 checks and is bullying members into voting yes on something that goes against the tenets of fiscal conservatism that they build their careers on. That's not exactly McConnell's style. Republican opposition to larger checks, and again, this is Republican Senate because the Republican House actually backed the Democratic House to pass the stimulus bill. At the end of the day, a lot of Republicans are still very uncomfortable with the idea of $2,000 checks for people who made less than $75,000. Even if they did support the direct payments in some capacity, they aren't comfortable with the House passed bill. Senator John Cornyn, a Texas Republican in leadership, told reporters Tuesday, right? Yes, a handful of Republican senators have been on the record saying they'd vote for $2,000 checks, but note that none of them has said explicitly they would vote for that bill. There we go. So I wish you all, I hope to reconnect with you before tomorrow night. Who's driving, who's not driving, right? I mean, will New Year's Eve 2019 be the same as New Year's Eve 2020? Absolutely not. Will the earnings be the same? No, I think it'll be that'll be a fraction. Me says they love calling Bernie crazy, socialist, communist, all buzzwords to distract people from the fact that he wants to help them. Very true. He does care. He's very, very passionate that this $2,000 reaches Americans, right? Most people don't understand what he is trying to do is already developed. Very cool, very cool, very cool. John Robles says, seasons don't fear the reaper. That is a true statement. Robert Garrison says, Trump could care less about $2,000. It's all a distraction. Wicked Hustle Guy says they are uncomfortable with giving money to people who will spend it on the economy, but they are all too willing to give it to companies who will buy back their stock and do nothing for the company, right? I mean, why does a guy like Warren Buffett, right? We know that name, multi-billionaire. Why does he said it himself, overnight, he made $29 billion. He was $29 billion richer thanks to Mitch McConnell's tax bill. So the wealthy, the ultra wealthy got even more ultra wealthy. But he has a problem signing off and helping American families. Well, we leave it at that. Circulate the video. You can see the hashtag that I put up there. I know it's pretty harsh, but it is trending on Twitter. I've already created some really cool tweets out there about this. Let me just show you what I did. There, I also tweeted the story, right? Those peasants shouldn't be allowed to afford cake, right? That's the Queen Mitch speaking. Those peasants shouldn't be allowed to afford cake, says the Queen Mitch McConnell. All right, I wish you an awesome day. Thank you, Mimey. Thank you, Wicked Hustle Guy. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Izza. Thank you, all of you that are in the room. Please smash that like button so we get over 20 there. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, John Robles. Thank you, Rob R. Thank you, Waping Pleb. He goes, transvestigate McConnell. So true. So true. If I don't connect with you, have an amazing new year. I wish you and your family health, happiness, be safe during these times, and let's all make it through to 2021. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you. Have a great, great day. From me, the rideshare professor, to you, to your families, be well. God bless.